Gamarjoba, and welcome to the history of Saqartvelo, Georgia. I'm your host, Roberto, and today we're going to learn about the Prometheus Caves in Georgia. I learned about these beautiful cave networks while at the Shody Bread House Georgian restaurant in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, and was mesmerized by the pictures there. So when I went to Georgia this past May, I knew I had to go see them. While I was there, I met our guest today, Nino Lolomadze. So, Nino, can you please introduce yourself to the podcast? Who are you and what do you do?
Hello, I am Nino Lolomadze. I'm from Georgia, living in Saqartvelo in a small town, and I work in Prometheus Cave, which is located in Imreti region. It's quite a great place, a great sightseeing, like must-see place in Georgia.
And can you tell us where the Prometheus Caves are located exactly?
Yeah, the Prometheus Cave is located in Imreti region, near small town Saqartvelo, like 6 kilometers far. It's western part of Georgia.
And then Saqartvelo, I remember seeing it when I was going around to get to the Prometheus Caves. So can you tell me a bit more about the town itself?
Saqartvelo is a small green town near Kutaisi, and it's actually quite easy to get there because like transports are working. They have their schedule, but to get to Prometheus Cave, it's a bit harder. So you have to take a taxi.
Yeah, Saqartvelo is a very beautiful place too. So I enjoyed going around it. So to learn a bit more about the caves, can you tell us who discovered the caves and when were they discovered?
The Prometheus Cave Natural Monument was discovered by Georgian speleologists. It was led by Jumberjish Ariani and consisted of the five-man expedition: Tamas Kobulashvili, Amiran Jamrishvili, Vakhtan Kapanadze, and Kotan Ijaradze. They started exploring in early 80s. In 82, they started exploring, and in 84, they officially discovered the place.
And how were they discovered? How did this group of archaeologists discover it?
To be honest, locals always knew about the caves in Merti region, like we knew about Sataplia, Liana, and other nearby caves, but not particularly about Qomistawi, like Prometheus Cave. When a government got interested in finding such caves in this region, they actually wanted to use as a shelter in case of nuclear war. Georgia was part of Soviet Union at the time. They sent five-man expedition, and the locals just gave them the directions they had to go. The locals knew about the small entrance, like 50 kilometers long, quite narrow, 50 meters long, and the expedition has equipment, experience to get there and explore the whole cave, not only the small entrance. So they were quite excited when they find out that the small, narrow entrance led them to the huge cave. They were so glad that the first stalagmite they saw named Stalagmite of Victory.
Oh, so that's why it was named that. That's really cool. And how were these caves formed?
Actually, it's a karst cave. It was formed because of underground water circulation in a limestone. So there used to flow a river before, so to say. That's why we have the whole system of caves. Like it's more than 30 kilometers. We're still exploring, and those caves are all connected to each other by rivers. But the river Qumi changed its direction, so it goes the other way. We can see only on the deepest part, 80 meters below the surface. And the upper part of the cave, we can't see the river anymore.
I think that's very interesting. So the river cannot be seen anymore in the upper part of the cave?
Yeah, only on the deepest part.
And then, was there any evidence that the caves were inhabited by people before?
Well, not particularly this cave. Ancient people were quite smart. They used to choose place which was safe for them with entrance, so which had direct sunlight in the morning. And this cave was frequently flooded. Like even now, a few times in a year, the whole cave is flooded. But they chose different caves in this region, like Tetra Cave, which was inhabited 30,000 years ago. We have found more than 15,000 artifacts. Also, we have Saqartvelo Cave, where people used to live 13,000 years ago. Saqartvelo is quite interesting because scientists have discovered a previously missing piece of European lineage after successfully analyzing remains of two ancient individuals found in western Georgia. It's actually the missing part of DNM hunter-gatherers, which immigrated later in Europe, like they immigrated 5,000 years ago in Europe.
Oh, that's really cool. So essentially, there's other caves around the region that were inhabited, but the Prometheus
Yeah.
cave would not because of all the flooding.
Yeah, might be they were living there, but we have not discovered anything yet. Who knows? But anyway, other caves are more like historically important than Prometheus cave, but Prometheus is the most beautiful one.
And then a very important question. Why are they called the Prometheus Caves? I know I asked you this one when we
Oh,
met.
that's a very nice question. But there's no real connection. But Prometheus was trained on a Caucasus mountain in a cave, but not in the Prometheus cave. It's just at first they named it Ulmistawi Saqartvelo cave, which is quite hard to pronounce. Like, can you pronounce Saqartvelo?
Al Subo.
Like, yeah, for marketing reasons, it wasn't suitable. Actually, it was one-man decision that they named it Prometheus Cave. By the way, there can be some associations because Prometheus is symbol of progress of humanity, like fire. And in nearby cave, we have found places people used to light a fire and make some rituals around the fire, like ancient people. So there can be some associations, but not direct ones.
Okay, so it's just more so to make it easier for people to say who are visiting.
Yeah, for me, I would name it Agartha, like ancient underground city.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, because it's just a massive cave system. I remember walking in and then realizing that everything just became really big in because there's just like this narrow entrance and then just becomes you enter one of the rooms and it's just massive. And I was like, wow, that's really beautiful. And it was very humid inside too.
Indiana Jones would be impressed to see this cave. I think he would just make some movies about this one.
Yeah, I would love to see some sort of ancient Georgian artifact located in one of the rooms in this cave under the water or something. I think it was that would be very interesting. How many rooms are in the caves that we've found so far?
Actually, there are 17 rooms in this cave, but only six of them are open to tourists because it's easier to make path in those six halls, and actually it's more big and more impressive. But we have also different halls like alpinists, which I had been a few years ago. And it was quite hard to get there. Like, we needed special equipment to go there. I was basically crawling to go there.
Oh, I would not fit in those in those spaces then. I'm a big person.
No, it's easy for everyone.
Well, I meant for like the smaller, the one where you need special equipment, not the big halls. So this may be a bit of a longer question, but for the main halls that the tourists can go through, what are they named and why were they given that name?
Also, the names are not connected to the cave. Actually, the first hall is Argonaut's Hall, the second one, Medea, the Hall of Love, Hall of Prometheus, and Hall of Iberia. Iberia is the same as Saqartvelo. It's just ancient name of Saqartvelo. As regards the legend of Argonauts, it's not connected to the cave. The Medea was princess of Kingdom of Kolkheti. It's ancient kingdom of Georgia, and it's a Greek mythology. According to the Greek mythology, she helped the Greek guy to steal our treasure, like golden fleece from Georgia, and then with him. But we have more good image of Medea because basically she was the goddess of medicine for us. Some scientists even say the word medicine stems from the Medea. Actually, the names are not connected to the cave, just symbolic ones, like random names, I think.
Okay, and I remember the Hall of Love, that one had a bit more of a connection to the room because of some sort of gems that are in there.
No, some profiles are there which are looking at each other. It's like frozen faces looking at each other. That's why they named it Hall of Love. And some people actually get married there. They go there with white dress. It's crazy. It sounds crazy because of these all steps and it's hard to go in the Hall of Love. And also we have lots of proposals there.
Oh
It's
wow.
quite interesting place.
It's this the Hall of Love is a very romantic place in for the Prometheus Caves then.
And the most beautiful hall of this cave.
Okay. Yes, I remember you turned on the lights and it's just like everything was really beautiful and like reflecting and you had like the red on the two profiles there. It was really nice to see. I think I took some
Oh,
pictures of that.
you have a good memory.
It was a very nice time, so I enjoyed it. And then what do the locals have to say about the caves? Or is it something that they visit often, or is it just more of a tourist center for people coming from outside the region or something else?
Well, locals, they're used to those caves. Like they knew about those cave system a long time ago, and actually they were like, "It's a cool place. Can we have a barbecue there?" Like it was quite a usual place for them, not really interesting and amazing place. They did not realize until a tourist started visiting this place, and they were like, "Oh, it's a treasure of our region."
Hmm. Yes, that's the as I'm very much aware because of where I live, when people come here for our because we have a cave network here as where I live as well. And the locals are like, "Oh yeah, we have that," but it's always a tourist that come in and is like, "Oh, this is really cool." And then the locals say, "Oh, yes, this is really nice, isn't it?" So it's a similar situation, I think, where the tourists bring more attention to it and then the locals enjoy it, but because they see it every day, it's they tend to not think about it so much.
As a local who grew up in this village, like nearby the cave, as a child, it was a really nice and mysterious place. I was always hoping to get there, enter the place, explore everything, but it was darkness, silence, some bats were flying around, so it was not quite easy to go there.
And now you're in there every day, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a quite cool place to walk.
Hmm. And how far is the entrance to the cave to the exit of the cave for the tourists?
It's 1,420 meters walking tour, but tourists also get another ticket for additional boat trip, which is 400 meters long.
Yes.
Like the 1,420 meters is walking tour, but it's not like you can visit that place only by boat. You should walk this distance to get to the boat trip.
Hmm. Yes, and I did the boat trip, and that was very interesting as well. It was nice just being able to see how the river kept going and went through the cave. And then how often do you have a walking tour? Because that's a very important question too.
For me personally, how often I do these tours every day?
Yes.
Me 4 or 5 times a day. In a lucky days, three.
So you're and for the people who haven't been to the cave, it's very much it's not a straight walk. You're going up and down stairs and everything. So Nino's very good at this.
But don't scare them. The air is cool. It's 14 degrees and it's like beautiful place.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I'm just saying it's a nice walk that you have to go up and down the stairs. So I mean, I could do it, and I had a lot of fun. And I remember you stopped, you talked about everything, and you was able to talk just talking about the caves and how they were, and basically you had a great way to explain the caves, and you answered all my questions while I was there too. So that was really fun.
Thanks. I'm trying not to show people that it's my usual routine, and I'm trying to tell them that it's a great place and the introduce with the best site.
Yes, I recommend everyone visit the Prometheus Caves. It is wonderful. Saqartvelo is a beautiful place. You can, and as I always like to say, the Georgians are the best people to be friends with because they're the friendliest. They're always happy to help, and any questions you have, they will help you with immediately.
They will also offer you some chacha or some red wine.
Oh yes, when I first arrived to the Prometheus Caves, there was a taxi driver who was sitting outside, and he's like, "Hey, I made some country wine. Would you like to try some?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll try some." And then he brings out this water bottle filled with wine and he serves it and he handed it to me. And he's like, "Do you want to buy the wine?" And I'm like, "No, I can't drink too much wine." But he kept offering me more and more. And I said, "No, I have to stop. I'm about to walk through the caves." So it's a very true story.
Wine is very sacral for Georgians.
No, very much so. I always keep a bottle of Georgian wine in my house. So I think I still have 3 bottles that I brought back from Georgia.
It's not only about the alcohol, it's about the history of Georgia
Hmm.
and actually, Georgia is mother country of wine.
Yes, and and I only bring it out when I want to share with people and explain to them more about Georgia too, because for me, it's, the same way that the Georgians share their love and their history and their culture. I want to do the same when I'm with my friends so they can learn more about your wonderful country.
It was just really unexpected when I saw the Georgia's map tattoo
Oh, you
of
remember?
yours.
Yes, for those who don't know, I have a Georgian map tattoo with the flag and Saqartvelo in Georgian beneath it. So, yes, that is my love for your country is with me forever. But yes, so Nino, if people want to get more information about the caves or visit, how do you recommend that they do that?
You should try the site Guruji, where you can book online tickets. But I would recommend you not to book boat tickets because sometimes water level is high and it doesn't work. And to get there, you just travel from Kutaisi to Saqartvelo, then take a taxi from Saqartvelo to Prometheus Caves.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's essentially what I did. I can also give you some tips on how to get there. So if anybody wants to visit the Prometheus Caves, go to the website. Maybe you'll have Nino as your tour guide. As I said, she's amazing, and I'm sure that all the other tour guides do just as fantastic of a job as Nino does. So Nino, I want to thank you so much for doing this with me today. I know that it is a bit late in Georgia right now, so thank you for taking the time and setting this up with me. I was very happy when you agreed to do this when I asked you in person, because I've been wanting to make an episode on the Prometheus Caves for a long time, and you made this so much easier for me.
Thanks for your invitation on this podcast because this is my first podcast in my life, and I was happy to do it.
Well, thank you so much. So I want to tell everyone, thank you so much for listening today. And that's a Madalban da Nakfandis, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Madloba.
Tu